Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hi, good morning. It's Monday, April 5th. Thanks for joining us
Well, you
today.
didn't believe me?
No, I didn't.
We always discussed, well, who's going to start, because we like to mix it up a bit.
Yeah.
And
we were playing chicken.
Oh, we were?
And I lost.
Wow. This headline this morning, you're about to say, thanks, Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a new ruling just for last week could actually increase the amount of those robocalls and texts that we get on our cell phones.
I know. You're like, yes, please. No, not at all. Americans can expect to receive more cell phone robocalls and texts because of that Supreme Court decision. That's according to a consumer advocacy group. The National Consumer Law Center for Low-Income Consumers warns that it expects robocall companies will remodel their automated systems to mirror Facebook's following the decision. That could mean more unsolicited calls and texts.
The group is calling on Congress now to take action against robocalls and texts to close the loophole revealed by the court's action just last week. It says the National Do Not Call Registry provides some protection for consumers, but claims that call centers regularly ignore it.
Robocalls were already on the rise before the Thursday ruling. There was a 15% increase from January to February.
And somehow this got cut off, but at the root of this unanimous Supreme Court decision was the language in a law that's been around since I think the 90s about what auto dialer technology is and isn't, and that's where the loophole is. So we're hoping that Congress will close it sooner than later.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, because that auto dialer technology is now somewhat obsolete. So they're saying, hey, we can do this.
Those auto warranty calls are relentless.
I know.
Yeah, especially for cars that you maybe don't even have anymore.
That's terrible if it's going to get worse.
Oh boy, I tell you. Anyway, here's today's 9 at 9. More than 300 homes south of Tampa, Florida are under mandatory evacuation orders this morning. Governor Ron DeSantis warning of the potential for, quote, catastrophic flooding, end quote, if a leaking reservoir collapses.
The trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, charged in the death of George Floyd, enters its second week today. After a week of emotional testimony from eyewitnesses, the trial will now focus on Chauvin's training.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu appeared in court today as his corruption trial enters the evidentiary stage. Netanyahu is accused of advancing regulatory benefits in return for favorable coverage from a news site.
All Bexar County courts will be allowed to conduct in-person hearings beginning today. In-person jury trials will resume in 6 to 8 weeks.
A prayer vigil planned today outside the New York hospital where DMX, whose legal name is Earl Simmons, is hospitalized. The rapper's family announced he suffered a heart attack Friday night.
Cybersecurity experts say the personal information of about 500 million Facebook users were posted to a website used by hackers. Possible details exposed include things like names, locations, birthdays, email addresses, phone numbers, and relationship statuses.
LG Electronics says it'll stop making cell phones. The company plans to focus on electric vehicle components, robotics, artificial intelligence, and other products and services going forward.
Stanford is the NCAA women's basketball tournament champion. Stanford held off Arizona 54-53 to win its first title in 29 years. The team celebrated the victory with a river barge parade on the San Antonio Riverwalk.
Tonight's national championship game between Gonzaga and Baylor is the most anticipated men's basketball title game in years. The game starts at 8:20 on CBS, and that's today's 9 at 9. I watched the women's game last night. Man, It was exciting.
Aww.
It was good stuff.
I say because I missed it, not because they won.
Yeah, it was so cool to see Kiana win, that Wagner alum from here in the San Antonio metro area. Fantastic.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Stanford. Heck of a game on tap for tonight. A big basketball fan, one of the biggest I know in the house, Justin Horn, standing by with more. Will you be watching a little bit of the game tonight, Justin?
All of it. The game, the Gonzaga UCLA game was incredible. You mentioned the women's game last night was incredible. It's been a good week for basketball.
It really has.
It should be a good night tonight, too. Let's take a look at some of the weather headlines. Some morning fog. We're dealing with that right now. Then we'll get into some afternoon sunshine. The big story, of course, this week, the heat. Temps are going to crank up. We're talking 90s. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some triple digits down there along the Rio Grande, so that's something to watch. We also have a slight shot at some storms as we get into Friday. It's small, though, not a great chance. I want to show you this, too. We do have an earthquake that was reported a little bit earlier this morning. That's near Los Angeles. So it was around 4:44 their time, 6:44 our time. Did a little bit of shaking. They had some aftershocks too, so that's just of note there along the west coast. Pollen count is in. Oak is at 9,280. It's in the high category. It dropped a little bit from where it was yesterday, but still a problem. Molds are low. In your forecast for today, we'll get it up to about 80 degrees after those clouds burn off, and I do think we see plenty of sun this afternoon. East-southeasterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. We'll talk about some of those really warm numbers coming up here in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. And right now we're checking TransGuide. We've got light to moderate traffic around town right now, looking live at 410 in Fredericksburg, and there is I-10 at Vance Jackson eastbound.
Top stories we're following today, an update to a shooting that sent a man to the hospital around 11:30 last night.
Yeah, San Antonio police tell us the man has died from his injuries. Investigators say the victim got into an argument with two women in the parking lot of a gas station in the 300 block of San Pedro, just north of 35 near downtown. Police say one of the women pulled out a gun and shot the man.
Officers later found the women at an apartment complex near the scene. 23-year-old Miranda Garcia is facing a charge of murder in the case. It's not clear if the other woman will face any charges.
Over the past year, virtual hearings via Zoom became the only way courtroom business was conducted right here in Bexar County.
Today, after a one-year shutdown because of the pandemic, in-person court hearings will finally be allowed again. All safety protocols, including masks and social distancing, will remain in place. It's the same thing for jury trials that are expected to begin in 6 to 8 weeks.
Each floor is only going to have no more than 2 courts on the entire floor of the courthouse and the Justice Center to have in-person hearings. We're going to begin with 1 criminal felony jury trial per day only in the central jury room, 1 civil jury trial per day only in the old historic courtroom.
Officials at the court say it's going to be a slow startup. That's because they don't know exactly what is around the corner.
The Northeast ISD Board of Trustees will hold a special board meeting this afternoon to discuss COVID-19 protocols for the remainder of the school year.
The district wants to hear your thoughts on the matter. While Governor Greg Abbott ended the statewide mask mandate last month, the TEA recommends students continue to wear face coverings. But the TEA says school boards can determine their own face mask policies. Any ISD trustees will not make a decision during today's meeting, but they will hear from district staff, medical experts, and the community.
The meeting starts at 5:30 this evening, and it's happening at the NEISD boardroom at 8961 Tesoro Drive. If you're planning to attend, remember that masks are required, and if you can't make it out, you can email your thoughts to the board at neisd.net.
The land bridge connecting Hardberger and Tobin Parks will get another addition when the Skywalk opens to the public later this morning. Marks the completion of the construction of the Robert L.B. Tobin Land Bridge. Land Bridge opened late last year and allows people and animals to safely cross Wurzbach Parkway.
The new elevated walkway is 18 feet off the ground and allows people to get a treetop view of the two parks. Mayor Ron Nirenberg and Judge Nelson Wolff will join former San Antonio Mayor Phil Hardberger for an inaugural walk across the Skywalk around 10:30 this morning.
In your morning headlines, we have the latest from the U.S. Capitol after that security breach that left a Capitol police officer dead. And a customer at a boutique helps stop a robbery.
A roadway rescue, and we are still waiting for the cows to come home. Our David Sears is here to explain all of this.
Good morning, David. How was your Easter?
Still waiting for the cows to come home.
Still waiting.
No, Easter was great.
Good.
Watched basketball, golf, and napped.
And worked instant replay last night.
Worked instant replay last night. Had chocolate bunny.
That's good. Gave you the energy for instant replay.
She's got a whole bunch more chocolate down here if you need it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got some Hershey bars here.
Perfect weekend. All right, we'll get to this first. Let's start off Monday with some good news. That is Capitol Police Officer Ken Shaver getting cheered as he stands and then he walked to a waiting car. This happening yesterday. Shaver was injured in that attack when Noah Green rammed his car into a barricade outside of the U.S. Capitol. We are also learning more about that incident. Investigators are zeroing in on Facebook post by Green and his, quote, obsession with the Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan. However, Green's family says that he is not a terrorist, but back in March, he told people to study Revelations, the end of times, and who the beast is. He reportedly also tried to change his name to Noah Zaim Muhammad. The family told the Washington Post he suffers from depression and possible potential illness. Investigators say Green drove his car right into the barricade at a security point before he was shot and killed, injured Officer Shaver, and he also killed Officer Bill Evans.
Billy died a hero's death, and it wasn't something he was looking for, and we certainly would much rather have him with us.
Officer Evans, an 18-year veteran and father of two.
I was panicking. I never been in that sort of position before.
That started out like a regular sale at this boutique shop in New York. Then it got scary for the teenage employee whose mom owns the store. Customer turned robber. The teenager was ringing up the sale when all of a sudden the guy just walks around behind the counter, then threatens the young lady, tells her to give her the money and shut up or he will kill her. She told him she didn't have any cash. He threatened her again and then took her to the back bathroom and locked her in. And that is when she got scared for her mom.
I just thought my mom is going to come in any second. I just have to hold on for a little bit longer or just wait for a customer to come in.
Yeah, what her mom, but it just so happened that another customer did come into the store. The robber got scared, ended up bolting, and Charlotte yelled for help. The woman made her way to the back, unlocked the bathroom door, told Charlotte she would protect her. They were both able to get out of the store unharmed. The police are looking for that suspect now. Hey, a scary moment bringing folks together in League City, Texas. The Lower Shell family out for a drive. Two kids, the Great Dane in the back, mom and dad in the front. The drive turned horrific when their Hummer came in contact with a pickup truck. They got clipped and then flipped. Robert Lee and his wife first on the scene, and other folks showed up to help. The kids were in their child safety seats. They were okay. Mom on the floor, but okay. They were able to pull her out and get her to safety. The dad, Jared, says he just wants to meet every single person that was there to help save his family. And what do they say? Until the cows come home? This cow experiencing something and not getting home anytime soon. Pretty moving experience on 285. That's the loop around Atlanta. Sounds like an utterly ridiculous story, but it's true. The cow apparently fell out of the livestock trailer, ended up shutting down 3 lanes of traffic. It took an hour to round up the cow. A driver just happened to have a rope. They eventually got the cow back to its owner. The Dunwoody police posted on their Facebook page, chasing people is norm for officers. However, chasing cows on the interstate, not so much.
At least the cow's okay.
The cow's fine.
Mark.
Thank you, David. See you in a
I know
bit.
you wanted to comment on a couple of those words.
No, it's Monday. I'm good.
Oh.
Thank you. 10 after 9 right now. About 63 degrees still ahead on GMSA at 9.
What is it like being Latinx in the United States? An author featured on this year's San Antonio Book Festival explores that topic in her new book, Why She Says We Might Need to Redefine What the American Dream Really Means.
Spurs are open to bounce back tonight after another loss over the weekend. David and RJ have a preview of tonight's game against the Cavs. That's coming up later in the newscast.
And take a look at this. Gun Gives partnering with Operation Paperback, helping our military men and women here at home and across the world. We'll explain right after the break.
And taking a look at stocks, the Dow is up about 285 points. We'll be right back. Operation Paperback is a national nonprofit organization whose volunteers collect gently read books and send them to American troops serving our country overseas.
We were just chatting about this right here on this newscast last week, and turns out KSAT is teaming up with the Gun Auto Group to help the organization. Our Max Massey joined us at the dealership over at 410 on Broadway. Max, any donations yet?
Yeah, let's take a look at this. I mean, the book on the top, A Patriot's History of the United States. Already so much, but there is never enough. They have said there is no limit to the donations. Joined here with Tony, who is a veteran himself. So, Tony, how important is it to get these books to our military men and women?
It's very important. You got to understand they're away from home long periods of time. When they get a package from home, it really makes them feel good. It makes them feel they're not forgotten. So we don't care. Just keep sending them. We'll get rid of them. We'll get them out to them. We'll make sure that they get in someone's hands. A lot of times they don't have the electronics or the things to charge their reading what they would do online or on their phone. So this really fills in the space for them. It fills a lot of time up too.
And we've seen a bunch of books here right behind me. So what genres are you guys looking for?
There's a little bit of everything. You got like mystery books, self-help books. Any books about the history of this country is great. just about anything. So please, feel free to bring whatever you have.
And it's any gun dealership, correct?
Any of our gun dealerships, plus our 3 collision centers. You don't even have to get out of your car. Pull up right on the driveway. Tell them here's some books you want to donate, and they'll bring them in for us.
All right,
okay?
Tony, thank you so much for your
You're
time.
welcome.
And guys, we are far from done. We'll be back at 9:30. We'll kind of walk you through the process. Important to know, though, you have until Saturday to donate. Take a look at this, guys.
Let's fill up a whole truck or two. How about that?
Yeah, we have time.
Yes, we do. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Max. And I know people watching right now have tons of books just collecting dust over in a corner in the guest room or something like that.
Yeah, so you have a few days to look for those, gather them, and go to a gun dealership.
Max was asking them about what genres of books. We saw the list they wanted for our military,
Yes.
and they said they'll take anything except
No romance.
no romance novels.
So put those aside for another donation.
Right,
Yeah.
Steph's going to have a drive next month for that.
Oh, my goodness.
9:16, let's check weather and see how things are looking up there. And Mother Nature is about to crank up the heat.
Yes, she is. It's been a while since we've been talking about 90s or even triple digits, but I think that's in play this week. So let's look at the numbers here. This is what we're thinking as we get into Wednesday. I think probably one of our warmest days, close to 90 here in San Antonio. I think by Thursday we're jumping into the mid-90s. Some places there along the border, along the Rio Grande, could get near 100. That'll be the case Friday too, although Friday we could see a couple of storms. That's my hope anyway, and maybe that would help with the heat some, but it is going to get hot this week. And you know, just a reminder here, San Antonio dropped to 9 degrees. Remember that? How can we forget? That was just 48 days ago. So it kind of gives you the, multiply it by 10. That's where we'll be this week. Gives you some perspective there. As we go outside for you, we did have some fog earlier. It looks like the scene is improving some. And in fact, the sun is trying to shine through. So that is looking a little bit better. 63 degrees, cloudy skies, south-southeasterly winds at about 7 miles per hour. And as we look at visibility, most places here around Bexar County doing pretty good, except for Randolph, which visibility there is still down to about half a mile. And you see there I-35 in Laredo looks okay. Looks like we lost the video stream there, but most places here around San Antonio, again, seeing some vast improvement. And still some fog Kennedy down to New Braunfels. That sort of corridor there is where we're still seeing a little bit of it. Temperature-wise, in the 60s, 63 degrees at the airport, 60 Kerrville, 63 Uvalde. You see some of the low cloudiness and some of that's fog too. This will break up. We'll get some sun this afternoon. And it'll be a warm day today, too. We won't be in the 90s today. We're thinking probably just 80s this afternoon. Dew points are in the 50s and 60s, so the air is fairly humid. What we'll be dealing with this week is sort of a dry line. There's a front that we'll try to work through, too. It's not going to cool us down, but what the dry line and some of these fronts will do is usher in some dry air, and then the moisture will come back. We'll kind of go back and forth with the dew point, and we'll get some drier air, I think, by the end of the week. But there's not a lot to give us a lift, to give us showers and storms. The jet stream has kind of positioned itself further north now, and that's where all the action will be. Again, I mentioned Friday. That's the one day where I think we could see a shower or storm. Otherwise, it's a pretty dry forecast. Rest of today, we're going to be up around 80 degrees. Those clouds start to break up, especially during the afternoon. Expect some breezy winds southeasterly 10 to 15 miles per hour. And the extended forecast, 85 tomorrow. 90 on Wednesday. I think we'll see some morning clouds and afternoon sun basically every day. There's your high temperature on Thursday, 95. 94 Friday, 20% chance of rain. It does cool down some into the weekend behind another weak frontal boundary. The temperatures are definitely cranking up. Now we need the rain chances to crank up. Otherwise, it's going to be a not so fun summer.
That would be nice. You know, and a lot of people watching right now love the heat. They've been waiting months for these kinds of temperatures to come back.
Well, here you go. And that's a lot better than 9 degrees, though.
I agree.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin.
All right, just flip us over when we're done on that one side, okay?
Yes.
Thank you, Justin. Still ahead on GMSA and another award show. Now in the books, how 4 actors made history last night during the Screen Actors Guild Awards. A historic night at the Screen Actors Guild Awards.
4 actors of color earned individual acting honors. It's the first time that has happened at the SAG Awards. Viola Davis won Best Actress for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Yoo Jung-yoon got Best Supporting Actress for Minari.
Daniel Kaluuya won for Best Supporting Actor for Judas and the Black Messiah. And the late Chadwick Boseman got lead actor for a film role in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Bozeman's widow accepted the award on his behalf.
If you see the world unbalanced, be a crusader that pushes heavily on the seesaw of the mind. That's a quote by Chadwick Boseman. Thank you, screen actors. Thank you, Chad.
Biggest prize, best ensemble cast went to The Trial of the Chicago 7.
And on the TV side, Jason Sudeikis won Best Male Actor in a Comedy Series for Ted Lasso. Catherine O'Hara got Best Female Actor in a Comedy Series for the popular show About a Creek. And Olivia Colman accepted the Drama Series Ensemble Award for The Crown.
Oh, boy. That's the only way we can talk about that show with a straight face.
Yep.
I don't think we're allowed to say that show on the air.
I don't think so. Thank you, Oriana.
In her new book, journalist Paula Ramos explores the meaning of being Latinx here in the U.S.
She told KSAT that the concept of the American dream is what drove many people to immigrate to the U.S. Ramos says the idea of the U.S. being a nation of immigrants is something her parents and grandparents believed. She also says it is something that makes our country unique. However, she says that we must re-examine if the story that is being told holds true today. Ramos says her book shows signs of hope. Immigrants have been told there is enough space for everyone in the U.S.
From the inception and the foundation of this country, that is at least a story that we love to tell. And so I think now at least we're living in a moment where if that is not what we mean, then we should at least truly reconsider the story that we're portraying out there of this like American dream, this nation of immigrants, this nation of justice. Because what we're seeing at the border, for instance, is that people believe in that.
Ramos is the author of Finding Latinx in the Search of Voices Redefining the Latino Community. You can read more about her book right now on KSAT.com. And while you're there, you can register for this year's San Antonio Book Festival, where Ramos will be a featured author. Book Festival kicks off coming up this Friday.
And another featured author we were talking about this morning, Kristen Hanna.
Yes, her book is like #2 on the New York Times bestseller list. I just saw it in the paper yesterday.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Right now it's 9:26.
A lot more ahead on GMSA at 9. The NCAA women's basketball tournament boosted the San Antonio economy by about $27 million. Our Erica Hernandez has details on that and more trending stories on KSAT.com.
Plus, the ladies of Stanford taking home the tournament trophy. David and RJ have highlights from the championship game that was right here in the Alamo City. Plus, a preview of tonight's men's title game up in Indianapolis.
And as we head to break, a quick check of the roads with TransGuide. There's I-35 at Division. Things are looking all right now. We'll be right back. And it was a great weekend for college basketball in San Antonio, and we're not done with college basketball as the men's title game will be played tonight.
David and RJ here to break it all down, and yes, also talk some Spurs as they continue to slide in the standings.
Ouch.
But let's start with the women's title game right here at home last night, and it was a fantastic game.
No better place than San Antonio to have a Final Four, men's or women's, but these women put on a show last night, all weekend, really.
Yeah, I mean,
all four games were great.
Yeah, incredible Final Four, and as David was saying, great job by San Antonio Sports and SALOC, the local organizing committee, getting this all ready to go and smooth. And we're looking here at the national championship game, Stanford versus Arizona there. Kiana Williams, Wagner alum, leading the Cardinal.
It was a great game because Stanford kept getting up and then Arizona kept fighting back and then Stanford would go up and Arizona would fight back. And this is what you want in a championship game. You don't want to blow out. You want this thing coming right down to the wire, sitting on the edge of your seat going, how's this going to turn out? And it was pretty exciting. Look at this triple team on.
Yeah,
shot right there.
I mean, incredible effort there by Arizona's guard just to get this shot off. Of course, it falls off the rim, and the Stanford Cardinal are your 2021 national champion. Their first title since 1992, but they've been good for decades.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, this is a great win for Stanford and good stuff there.
I want to point out something, though. Aside from the game, did you see the floor? Look at. Well, it's hard to tell. That is the best floor.
It's a good-looking floor
of any Final Four you'll ever see.
It's got the Alamo outline in the parquet, right?
Yeah,
it's really pretty cool.
It was pretty good stuff there.
I mean, the ladies did a fantastic job this weekend. The city did a fantastic job. I know there was some controversy about the weights and some of the food. Hey, San Antonio didn't have anything to do with that. That's the NCAA's problem. And I said it last night, and it's the replay. I'll say it again today. Yeah. The first open spot for a Final Four needs to come to San Antonio.
Amen.
They need to bring it back here so they can do it
Totally
and have all the fans show up and take advantage of the river
just think about
and
the fact
everything
that
we have to offer.
Yeah, and just think about the fact that we had all 64 teams here. With the men's tournament that has been played in Indiana in different cities. This one we hosted the entire thing, even the games outside the San Antonio area. The teams were bussed up back and forth. So great job by the local organizing committee there.
And they waited to the last minute to say, hey, oh, by the way, San Antonio, we're going to bring the whole tournament to you. Just take care of it all.
And we took care of business.
And took care of business.
You know what? I'm all about monopolies. I say we host them both next time.
That works for me. We
got the men's coming up 2025. So
we got that.
About that.
Don't we have what do we have in 20? We have something in 2022, don't we?
We don't. This was the 2021 tournament.
Yeah, we had something coming up, so we got the men's coming up.
There you go.
Men's here.
But I just, when the women get ready to pick cities again, San Antonio needs to be first.
We mentioned Wagner alum David, Stanford guard. Let's go ahead and hear from her after this big win here at home.
To win it in my hometown, that means a lot. I know my teammates wanted this as bad as I did, my senior year in my hometown. So just everything just lined up, and I just feel like it was already written. And to win it on Easter Sunday, that's just God.
She played a fantastic tournament for her.
Yeah, great job by Kiana Williams. And then we had the Riverwalk celebration there to celebrate after the game. Hey, look at this.
Where
we had a nice
get this in America.
Awesome.
San Antonio is the only place you can have this.
Absolutely, yeah. Great. Yeah, and a great following there from Stanford. By the way, Russell Wilson, too. Yeah. Seahawks quarterback. Yeah. Big Stanford fan. His little sister was on the Stanford's team.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
Did not know that.
I mean, but you can't. Where else do you do this?
You don't.
Nowhere else.
You really don't.
All right, David, moving on to tonight's game. This one should be great as well. Yeah, we have Gonzaga taking on Baylor. This was probably the game of the year in college basketball. The Zags taking on UCLA. This was Saturday night's Final Four game.
My wife was in another room when this happened, and I come flying off the couch at the end of this game, and she comes into the room and goes, you okay? Did you not see that shot? She said, no, I was busy doing stuff around the house while you were watching basketball. Yeah. But it was a great shot.
Unbelievable shot there by true freshman Jalen Suggs to send the Zags to the national championship. They're going to be taking on Baylor tonight. So both these teams looking for their first ever national championship. Of course, Baylor. Man, you know what? I'm going to go with Baylor. Yeah, got to go with Bears. The Bears.
Yep, the Bears.
To win this one here. This is a late start, 8:20.
Pulling for Baylor tonight, but Gonzaga's tough.
Yeah, they're tough. But you see, UCLA was the number 11 seed, and look what they did to them. Took them right down to the wire. So Baylor's got a chance.
Eventually, we got to get to the Spurs here.
Unfortunately, we do.
Wow.
Shame on you.
Steph's optimism, is it dwindling by the minute? Maybe not.
It's infectious, but dwindling.
Man,
I'm hanging on, okay?
All these guys. You talk about blowing a great opportunity during a homestand. They had 9 games at home. It's always about, we get to sleep in our own bed. We get to go through our own routine. We get to do this. We're at home. We're home. Yeah, but you're not supposed to go 2-6 in the first 8 when you're at home, are you?
Yeah, but to be fair, remember the schedule is a grind. It is a bit of a grind. Is it not, RJ?
Oh, no.
It is definitely a grind, but I still cannot understand for the life of me what is going on with this team at the AT&T Center. It's not only this home stretch. They're 12-16 overall. I don't think I remember a Spurs team being this bad at home in a long time.
I did some research for you, RJ. I did some research for you. They lost to Indianapolis the other night, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Indy shot 55%. They lost to Atlanta. Atlanta shot 50%. They beat the Kings. Kings only shot 42%. They lost to the Kings. The Kings shot 56%. They beat the Bulls 43%. They lost to the Clippers. The Clippers only shot 38%, but that was the one that Kawhi was out.
Yeah.
When Kawhi played, they shot 55%. You get the trend? You see what happened here?
Someone is on Google this weekend.
No defense.
Bad defense, yeah.
That's some serious research. What do you Google?
I mean, look, and what makes this loss worse on Saturday is that Indianapolis, the Pacers, they didn't have their 2 top players.
No.
They were missing like 3 guys.
Come on. These guys got to get, you know what? Here's a bad to get, Steph.
Yeah.
And you may not want to listen to this.
Okay.
So,
earmuffs.
Towards the end of the season, right? Here in April, before April is over, they have 2 back-to-back, 2 sets of back-to-backs. They're in the same week. They get into May, they have 4 sets of back-to-backs. Both 2 of them are in the same week. So they have 2 in 1 week and then 2 in another week. And there's only 2 weeks in May.
A rough stretch coming up here.
So it's going to be a brutal
tonight?
stretch. That's why this was so important to get some wins at home.
Yes.
And they didn't do it.
They haven't done it yet.
But
they got a game against the Cavs tonight, and they are been better on the road, So early tip-off tonight. This is 6 o'clock because the national...
good. So we can watch them both?
The national championship game is at 8:20. So get your DVRs ready, whatever you want to do to get this first game. Hopefully you come out
on
of
the
this
couch.
one.
Yeah, we'll just light candles.
There you go. You can't go wrong doing that.
Thank you.
It's a whole lot of candles. Thank you, guys.
Down.
No kidding. Outside with live cam, mid-60s out there. Justin Horn is here with more as we wait for the Heat to make a 2021 appearance.
Indeed. Listen, it is Monday, but David, you got to be more positive than that, man. Come on.
It was positive.
It'll be okay.
Thank you.
Right now, we've got temperatures in the 60s. We're 63 at the airport, 61 Bernie State, 61 Bandera, 62 Tarpley, 65 at Hondo. We are still dealing with a little bit of fog, mainly east of San Antonio, New Braunfels down to about Randolph. But this is improving rapidly. I think the fog will be over here within the hour or so. Kennedy also reporting some fog there. Forecast for today takes us up to about 80 degrees. We'll lose the cloud cover, partly cloudy this afternoon and breezy southeasterly winds 10 to 15. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. Taking a look out with TransGuide. There's 281 at the quarry. Things are moving right now at 9:38.
There are millions of military men and women serving our country all around the world, and there's an easy way you can help them out thanks to Operation Paperback and Gun Gives.
Max Massey joins us live from the Gun Nissan dealership at 410 and Broadway. And Max, how can people help out?
Good morning, guys. It is so easy. You come, you drop off books. You don't even need to leave your car. And look at this. Look at all the donations they have already gotten. But as my guy Tony here has been saying all morning, there is never enough. So, Tony, why is this such an important cause for you guys?
It's important to us because of the history of a gun. We've always been a big supporter of the military. Matter of fact, Curtis Gunn Sr., who was known as Pop, he was in the, he belonged to the 13th Division, World War II. His son, Curtis, was also in the military, but Pop served under General Patton. He received the Bronze Star. Curtis was a navigator, and his son Curtis was a navigator and operations officer on the SSS Boyd. So we have a lot of military background involved in there. And then Gun currently employs 50-plus retired military folks and reservists, to include myself.
Well, thank you so much for your service. Now, how can people really drop this off? It's any location until Saturday, right?
Right. Any of our 5 locations and our 3 collision centers. You can pull right up on a service drive. Don't even have to get out of your car. Hand the guys the books. They'll bring them in, and we really appreciate it. There's no limit to what we could use. We're going to send them all over the world. I promise you we'll get them out in the right hands. Okay?
Now, a lot of book drives that we've seen are a lot of kids' books, but we want to let people out there know this is not for kids.
Yeah. No, we do a lot of children's book drives, but this is for our military, something that we decided to do with Operation Paperback to support them and KSAT. So we're really proud of this promotion, and as you can see, we're getting a lot of books already, so please keep them coming.
Absolutely. Tony, thank you so much for your time this morning. Take a look at this, guys. But again, never enough, and you have Saturday to donate. If you have any questions, we have those answers. Just head to KSAT.com. Guys, back to you.
All right, very cool. Plenty of time. Thank you, Max.
9:40 right now, about 64 degrees.
And you're watching GMSA at 9. How much money have you spent on Amazon? Oh my goodness, you're probably too scared to find out the answer, but if you do want to know, there's a way you can check. Our Erica Hernandez explains after the break.
9:44, several stories trending on KSAT.com this morning, including just how well the NCAA women's basketball tournament did here in San Antonio.
Our Erica Hernandez joining us now live with the details on that story and more. Good morning.
Hi.
Hey guys, good morning. Well, after hosting 64 teams, San Antonio saw a huge economic impact. Yesterday morning, Mary Ullman Jaffet with the San Antonio Local Organizing Committee spoke with Max and Sarah live. She said the economic impact was about $27.2 million, which was 35,000 hotel room nights. This was huge for the devastated hospitality industry. As San Antonio has hosted Final Fours in the past, this was different as the entire tournament was held in the Alamo City despite some challenges. Japhet called the event a success and says that it set San Antonio up for an even brighter future going forward. And we heard RJ and David talk about it a little bit. It was big, and the way it ended was even better, I think, for the city.
I love that, especially with the Riverwalk Parade.
Yeah, I think it all culminated, and I think it ended up really well for the city.
Well, and the timing was absolutely perfect. Now we can continue to build on this as we all recover from this year-long pandemic.
So I'm excited to see what future Final Fours they bring to San Antonio.
Us too.
You know they're coming.
Yeah.
Next up, a new Netflix documentary called The Last Blockbuster has brought international fame to that last store in Bend, Oregon. Since the documentary aired last month, people from all over the world have sent flowers and called the store to say thank you for staying open. Staff members have been busy packaging thousands of online orders for t-shirts, hats, and face masks, which are all made by the Bend business. The Bend Blockbuster has no plans to close. It has a steady lease agreement in place. In its heyday, Blockbuster had 9,000 stores around the world, but in 2010, they declared bankruptcy, and by 2014, all corporate-owned stores had closed. I don't know what it is. I kind of miss those old Blockbusters and movie rental places.
If you watch this documentary, that seems to be the sentiment, that it had a look and a feel, and it was part of our weekend routine to get in the car with the fam and go pick out video and argue whoever's getting what.
And snacks.
And snacks.
And
it was like a whole evening. I remember like Friday night with your friends going to pick movies. I mean, I don't even have VCR anymore, so I don't know or a DVD player, so know if I would still be able to do it. But just the thought that place is still open is really cool.
It's actually a really good documentary, and I actually had flashbacks to working at Blockbuster on Walls.
You did?
At Walsham Road near 35,
How cool is that?
Several years, PTSD about returns coming in.
Got to rewind them back.
And people going, hey, is this in? Is this in? No.
We'll have to check it out.
All right. Well, that's a sore subject for Mark. We're going to move on now.
We're good.
This next article may get me in some trouble at home. How to check the total amount you've ever spent on Amazon. This is trending right now on TikTok. Users are able to discover their total spending amount on Amazon. We have the step-by-step instructions to find out your totals. You can even break it down into how much you spend a month, a year, or a lifetime total. A tip, it's important to note, if you check your lifetime total, to also check when you started ordering things, which may help ease the final total a bit. So if you started ordering things like in 2012, 2013, it may not feel so bad when you see that large number.
Yeah. Hey, we were in a pandemic.
Yes, I mean, come on. I wasn't going to go to the store. I might as well just order it.
Yes. Suddenly, the divorce rate goes up 26%. We're about to see a spike.
Yeah, I'm hoping my husband doesn't find out about this tool, because it may not.
Yeah, you're fine.
We'll be
you're
all
good.
right.
You're good.
I bought stuff for him too. Here's your national days of the week. Today is Deep Dish Pizza Day. Tomorrow is National Caramel Popcorn Day. Wednesday is National Beer Day. Thursday is Empanada Day. Friday is National Unicorn Day. Saturday is National Siblings Day. And Sunday is Pet Day. I mean, even unicorns get a day.
Wow.
My
kid thinks they're real, so yeah, we'll celebrate then.
If you haven't seen it yet, go back and check the Bexar County Sheriff's Office post from April Fool's Day.
They found one.
About the unicorn they got during the drug raid.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And the unicorn's fine.
It was funny stuff.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, Erica. Good to see you on a Monday. Justin is back now as we work our way into the heart of, oh joy, oak pollen season.
Yeah, you guys were all happy over there. Now I'm going to bring the mood down a little bit because oak is, it's
just keeping it real, Justin.
Keeping it real. That's what we got to do here. Let's take a look at the numbers. We're at 9,280 today, which, look, there is some positive here. It's lower than it was yesterday, but we are reaching the peak of the season. And we had a late start because of the freeze, but then it really has ramped up. So this red line here represents sort of the average, and we usually peak about mid-April and then start to come down in May. So you can expect these numbers are going to stay high next couple of weeks. Just a heads up. Rainfall so far this year. Some more bad news, I suppose. 3.05 inches for the year. We're about 3 inches below the average. That's the case in Del Rio. Well, they're 2 inches below there. So the rainfall is needed. But as we look at rain chances this week, all we got is Friday, and that's not even a great chance, honestly. There could be a few thunderstorms Friday afternoon. But right now, it looks like it's just not a great opportunity for us. And so we're likely going to stay dry, at least for the next few days. As we look at the time lapse, we did have a little bit of fog this morning, some low-hanging clouds there, but just within the last hour or so, the sun's trying to pop out. 66 degrees at the airport. Dew point is at 61, so it is humid, yes. With south-southeasterly winds at about 9 miles per hour. You see the cloud cover, but there are some breaks. right there on the northeast side of town. You're seeing some breaks down there in Wilson County. And I think these clouds will scatter out as we get into the afternoon. That's going to allow for some pretty warm temperatures today, too. 66 at the airport, 61 Randolph, 59 in Seguin, one of the cooler spots, 61 Bernie Stage. As we zoom out some, 68 in Del Rio, some sun starting to show up there, and 64 in Cotulla. Visibility has improved quite a bit. The only spot where we're still seeing some slightly reduced visibility is in New Braunfels, but everybody else has seen that fog go away. Dew point wise, dew points are going to be fairly high this morning. They'll drop off a little bit this afternoon. We're going to see a lot of back and forth here. The mornings will be fairly humid, afternoons will be a little bit drier. And we may get the dry line through on Thursday into Friday, and so that would allow for dew points to really fall off during the afternoon. If that happens, we'll likely see some really hot temperatures, and that is in the forecast. We're looking for some 90s this week. Right now, very quiet across the state. As we zoom out, the jet stream is well to our north, and that's where a lot of the action is. That's where we're going to see a lot of the rain this week. So unfortunately, it's not a great forecast for us. Temperatures will be up near 79, 80 this afternoon with some breezy winds. We'll go 85 tomorrow, 90 on Wednesday, morning clouds, afternoon sun. We could go as high as 95 on Thursday. And if it's 95 here in San Antonio, you can imagine that there will be some triple digits on the map. 20% chance of some storms Friday. That's our one lone hope as it stands right now, guys.
And we hope it happens with those really hot temperatures.
Agreed.
Thank you, Justin.
9:51 on your Monday morning.
And still ahead on GMSA at 9, McDonald's is adding a new sweet treat to its menu when you can try the new caramel brownie McFlurry.
Good morning.
Guys, how are you?
Coming up on Live, we'll chat with Jeffrey Dean Morgan from The Walking Dead.
Plus, the cake boss, Buddy Valastro, joins us. We'll see you soon on Live.
When are we both getting glasses?
Soon.
Like Kelly and Ryan?
Soon.
Okay.
Hopping on an airplane to see the world is generally a great idea, but health experts say even though COVID-19 vaccinations are underway, now is the time not to take a trip. Coming up on the news at noon, why it is just better to reconsider travel altogether during this pandemic.
Yeah, we're sitting at 66 on our way to 80 this afternoon. We'll see some sun and temperatures ramp up from here. 85 Tuesday, 90 on Wednesday, 95 Thursday, and maybe a slight chance for storm Friday.
Is your sweet tooth kicking in high gear here? We've got some good news, McDonald's fans. They're expanding their lineup of sweet treats with a new McFlurry flavor.
Yep, beginning May 3rd, the chain is adding caramel brownie McFlurry to its menus at U.S. locations for a limited time. McDonald's says the dessert combines vanilla soft serve ice cream with brownie pieces and caramel topping that's blended throughout.
Prices will vary depending on location. Some fans might recognize the caramel brownie McFlurry because it had been served at Canadian locations since 2017. In fact, McFlurry is a Canadian creation that debuted in 1995 at a low restaurant in the province of New Brunswick. It's now a staple that's served in more than 100 countries. And now we get our taste.
I know, it sounds delicious. It joins Oreo and M&M McFlurries.
It's low calorie, right?
Of course.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, just try it out. Have a great day, guys.